Welcome to Election Night in America, November 3rd, 2020. And today we have a matchup between President Donald Trump and former Vice President Joe Biden in a presidential coverage of Election Night made by Purple Political Talk and Unbiased Election Predictions.
We now have our 7 p.m. poll closings out of the states of Vermont, Virginia, Kentucky, Indiana, South Carolina, and Georgia. Georgia is really the only state that is up for grabs, and we have our first projection from the state of Vermont. Joe Biden will win the state, no surprise here, and we have another call coming in early on, actually, from the state of Virginia, or we can also project Joe Biden will win the state. This was too close to call for much of the night in 2016, but due to recent demographic trends and the data that we're seeing here from the UEP/PPT decision desk, we're going to call Virginia for Joe Biden. We now have 2 calls for the president. In Kentucky, Donald Trump is the winner there, 8 electoral votes, no surprise, out of this state. And in Indiana, 11 electoral votes at the home state of Vice President Mike Pence. He will win easily here. We now have a key race out of South Carolina, 9 electoral votes, Joe Biden ahead, although again, this is expected to swing in Donald Trump's favor towards the end of the night. And out of Georgia, again, Donald Trump maintains a very large lead here, but none of the urban areas have come in, and it is expected that Biden will catch up considerably. So our current electoral map, 16 electoral votes for Vice President Biden, 19 for President Trump. Uncalled races still remain to be called in Georgia and South Carolina.
It is now 7:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have poll closings in the key states of Ohio and North Carolina, in addition to the key state of West Virginia. We can make a projection out of the state of West Virginia at this time with 5 electoral votes, and we can project Donald Trump will be the winner in this very red state. And out of the state of South Carolina, it is a much more narrow victory for the president here due to changing demographics in the state. However, we can project at the PPT UEP decision desk, President Donald Trump will be winner of the state of South Carolina due to the data we already have. Now going on to our key race alerts. In the state of Ohio with 18 electoral votes at stake, Joe Biden a pretty big lead of over 16%, 18 electoral votes at stake with only 5% reporting. We still do not have enough data to call this race. It's too early to call. However, in the state of North Carolina, it is currently too close to call. We have some precincts reportings, however, the results we're seeing are very tight and it does not allow us to call the race. However, former Vice President Joe Biden leads 51% to 49% with the 15 electoral votes at stake. And out of the state of Georgia, 16 electoral votes, Donald Trump is currently in the lead, 50% to 49%. With 20% reporting is an update on our race. This race is definitely narrowed down as we see more of the increasingly Democratic districts and counties come in. And our current electoral map as of 7:30 p.m., we're currently seeing the electoral map, 16 electoral votes for Joe Biden, 33 for Donald Trump, with uncalled races in the state of Georgia, North Carolina, and Ohio.
Thank you, Purple. We now have poll closings. This is our largest batch of the evening, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock on the Pacific Coast. We have a few states that are up for grabs or toss-ups. Maine 2nd Congressional District, Pennsylvania, and the state of Florida are all competitive. Let's get started with our first projections of the hour. The Maine at-large vote, these are 2 electoral votes. Remember, Maine is one of the only states, along with Nebraska, that divides their electoral votes up based on the at-large vote of the state, as you can see on your screen right now, and the congressional districts, which are each worth 1 electoral vote. Maine at-large vote will go to Joe Biden, as will the 1st Congressional District. Remember, this is the urban one towards the south. We also have a projection to make in the state of New Hampshire. Very early call. This is actually one of the closest states by percentage and by vote total. In 2016, Hillary Clinton narrowly won the state. This time around, Joe Biden is expanding Hillary Clinton's lead. He looks to be outperforming her in actually every single county, and he even has a few leads in some solidly Republican counties of the past. Now, we don't expect him to hold on to some of these leads, but it is enough for us to call the state for him. Now, moving on to the state of Illinois, that's 20 electoral votes. This is the biggest prize of the Midwest, or at least the most electoral votes. Joe Biden, the projected winner here, he will win by over 20%, an improvement on Hillary Clinton's 2016 numbers. We're also going to call the state of New Jersey for the former vice president. This is a solidly blue state. and as expected, he will win. Another call from the Northeast, Massachusetts, 11 electoral votes. Joe Biden is the projected winner. We also have a call from Maryland. These are 10 electoral votes, all going to go to Joe Biden, one of the most blue states in the union. And out of the state of Delaware, this is his home state. He served as a senator here for many years. He will win these 3 electoral votes. We also are going to project that Connecticut will go to the former vice president, and we can also call Rhode Island for Joe Biden. Now moving on to the state of Washington, D.C. Those are 3 electoral votes. This is the most liberal part of the union. Over 90% of the vote is expected to go to Biden, and so far, from the vote totals that we see, we will win easily here. We also are now going to move on to our Donald Trump projections. In Oklahoma, the president will win the 7 electoral votes the state has to offer. We will also claim Tennessee's 11 electoral votes. Again, not really a battleground state. In Alabama, 9 electoral votes, Donald Trump the projected winner. We can also call the state of Missouri. These are 10 electoral votes, remember, for the president. And out of the deep south, Mississippi, that's 6 electoral votes for President Trump. So, yeah. Florida, however, this is one of the most contested states there is. Joe Biden is currently leading, although again, Democrats do tend to have very early leads in the state, but certainly significant. Half of the vote in Florida has done a good job of counting their votes so far, and Biden is ahead. We also can report that Donald Trump actually, surprisingly to some, has a lead in Pennsylvania. In Maine, in Pennsylvania, Donald Trump has the lead early on. In Maine 2nd Congressional District, Joe Biden has the lead early on. Again, this is one of the states that does do a good job of counting the votes. Again, it's one of the smaller states, I guess you can say, because it's only a district, but Biden currently leading Donald Trump very early on. It's only by a couple thousand votes though. Now moving on to Georgia, the polls closed here over an hour ago. Joe Biden is catching up to Donald Trump. He does not have the lead, but he's catching up as expected. About half of the vote is in, however. And in the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes, Joe Biden is maintaining his lead, although it has narrowed up. We also, not related to this, but we also have already called the North Carolina gubernatorial election for the Democrat, Roy Cooper, so that could be helping Biden. In Ohio, Donald Trump has taken the lead over Biden. It's a pretty significant lead, and right now there is about a 90% chance he wins this state, but we are not going to call it for the president just yet, but we can report he has the lead. So our electoral college map, Joe Biden, 95 electoral votes, leading the president, who has 76, and uncalled races in Georgia, North Carolina, Ohio, Florida, and Pennsylvania.
It is currently 8:30 p.m. on the East Coast, and we have poll closings in the sole state of Arkansas. And at this time, we can make a couple predictions. Out of the state of Arkansas, we can project Donald Trump will be the projected winner, winning the state's 6 electoral votes. And out of the state of Georgia, very key call in the presidential election. Very big alleviation for the presidential campaign of Donald Trump. 16 electoral votes we can project out this time will go to President Donald Trump in the state of Georgia. The Georgia Atlanta suburbs came out for the president. That gave him the victory in the state with the data we currently have. And an update on the electoral map, 95 electoral votes for Joe Biden, 98 for Donald Trump, with uncalled races in North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Florida. Moving on to our poll closings at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we have one of the biggest batch of poll closings in the nation. However, this batch of poll closings brings the most crucial battleground states on the map. We have poll closings in the states of New York, Nebraska, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wyoming, Minnesota, Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado, Texas, Kansas, and Louisiana. Our first call of this hour is the state of New York, where we project Joe Biden will carry the state by a big margin. This is a safe Democratic state. We have enough information to call the race for Joe Biden, as he is performing as the Democrats usually do in this state. Very big call in the state of Minnesota at poll closing. Joe Biden has heavily overperformed Hillary Clinton with a lot of the early vote that we have, and some of the votes we're starting to get in from in-person voting on today, on the day of the election. We're seeing Joe Biden perform very well in the state of Minnesota. We have enough information to call the state for former Vice President Joe Biden. Similarly, in the state of New Mexico, very big call for former Vice President Biden. This state has become safe in the safe column for Vice President Joe Biden. He is performing again over Hillary Clinton by a big margin. And again, similarly in the state of Colorado, we're seeing him rack up a lot of these swing states. In the state of Colorado, we project Joe Biden. 9 electoral votes we can project will go to former Vice President Biden, adding on to his electoral lead. And in the state of Joe Biden, we can project the Maine 2nd Congressional District will go to Joe Biden. 1 electoral vote we can project will go to Joe Biden and his campaign. Very crucial call when it comes to this election. Out of the state of Pennsylvania, we can project Joe Biden will be the projected winner out of the state of Pennsylvania, winning the state's 20 electoral votes, flipping the state of Pennsylvania from the 2016 election. And out of the state of North Carolina, 15 electoral votes at stake. We can project Joe Biden will be the projected winner. He has increased African American turnout, and college-educated voters are turning out before the former vice president of the state. We have enough information to call this race in the state of North Carolina. Now, taking a look at Nebraska's at-large congressional district, this is the other state that divides their electoral votes based on populations and congressional district. We can project the 2 electoral votes at the at-large district will go to President Donald Trump. While Nebraska's 1st congressional district, we can project 1 electoral vote will go to President Donald Trump. Similarly, in Nebraska's 3rd congressional district, again, 1 electoral vote we can project going to the president. Now, going on to the state of North Dakota, 3 electoral votes we can project going to Donald Trump. While in South Dakota, same thing, 3 electoral votes, again, going to the president. In the state of Wyoming, one of the most conservative states in the nation, we can project Donald Trump will have a very big victory in this state with 3 electoral votes now in the Trump column. Out of the state of Kansas, 6 electoral votes, we can project Donald Trump will be the winner of the state of Kansas, and it's 6 electoral votes. And out of the state of Louisiana, this is a state that has had some Democratic trends in the past. However, we see President Donald Trump hold on to his majority in the state of Louisiana. He has a lot of support here, and they have come out for him again in the state of Louisiana, winning its state's 8 electoral votes. Now, going on to the key race alerts, out of the state of Michigan, Joe Biden is currently in the lead with 45% reporting. It's currently too close to call, however. Former Vice President has a pretty big lead in the state of Michigan. And out of the state of Wisconsin, very, very narrow race right now with only a couple of percentage points separating both candidates, with less than 1% between the 2 candidates. 10 electoral votes at stake with 55% reporting. Joe Biden currently in the lead. Out of the state of Arizona, 11 electoral votes we project at this time. Joe Biden is in the lead, or key race alert, 52.3% to 47.7%. Out of the crucial state of Texas, we currently have a key race alert where President Donald Trump is currently in the lead, 52.43% to 47.57% with 45% reporting. Out of Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, this is one of the more contested districts in the nation. Pretty close race right now, pretty tight with less than 1% separating both candidates. We currently have Nebraska's 2nd congressional district going to President Donald Trump. He's currently in the lead. In the state of Florida, a very tied race. Joe Biden narrowly with a little edge with 85% of the vote reporting. We still have a lot of vote outlying from a lot of the big blue counties. However, currently it's a tied heat in the state of Florida. Anything could happen at this point in time with 29 electoral votes at stake. And the last curious alert at this hour is the state of Ohio, where Donald Trump 51.28% to Joe Biden's 48.72%, with 65% reporting. A Trump victory in the state of Ohio is looking like more and more likely every single second. Our current electoral map as of this hour is 184 electoral votes for former Vice President Joe Biden to 128 for President Donald Trump, with uncalled races in Michigan, Wisconsin, Ohio, Florida, Texas, and Arizona.
Now moving on to our 10 p.m. poll closings, we have 2 contested states. Those are Iowa and Nevada, along with Montana and Utah. Again, Montana and Utah are not as competitive as the beforehand mentioned states of Iowa and Nevada, but we do have a major call. This may come as a surprise to some, certainly as a surprise to me, but Nevada has just called for Joe Biden by the PPT/UEP decision desk. He actually had higher Latino turnout than expected, which certainly helped him, and a lot of former third-party voters did cross over to him, so a best-case scenario for him in Nevada, he is currently ahead by around 7%. In Wisconsin, we now have a major projection to make, blocking Trump's path to victory in the Rust Belt. Wisconsin will go to Joe Biden. This is a huge victory for him. They're obviously very happy at his campaign headquarters in Wilmington. So Wisconsin will go to the former vice president. And Wisconsin just went to the former vice president. Michigan will also go to Joe Biden. He underperformed the early vote total, but a lot of black voters came out to vote for him. A lot of former Trump middle class white voters came out to vote for Biden. So he's gonna be lifted by those two groups to victory over the president. And in Florida, Joe Biden, we can project, will win the state. The Sunshine State was looking like it was going to be in Trump's column for a while, went back to Biden, and it looks like it's going to stay in that column. Again, very, very close as expected, but Joe Biden, the projected winner here. We are also going to call the state of Arizona for Joe Biden. He is having higher Latino turnout than expected and is outperforming Donald Trump by around 40,000 votes in Maricopa County, with a few mail-in ballots still to be counted, so we can project Biden the winner of the state of Arizona, essentially foreclosing Donald Trump's path to victory. And in Montana, and again, this is assuming that Biden can hold on to the West Coast, which he is expected to. In Montana, 3 electoral votes, Donald Trump will be their choice for president. And out of the state of Utah, that's 6 electoral votes. It says 4 on your screen. We apologize for that error, just a little glitch. Donald Trump, the projected winner out of this state. In Texas, again, this was expected by some to be a toss-up, which it came down to the wire, but Donald Trump will be the winner here. So we can project Texas will go to the president. And in Ohio, Donald Trump will hold on to this state. This is the first time since 1960 that a Republican has won this state, but not been able to hold the White House. Again, this is assuming that the West Coast goes to Joe Biden, which is looking imminent. Now in Iowa, Donald Trump has the lead over Joe Biden. It's still too early to call, but a third of the vote has come in. And moving on to the Electoral College map. Again, Joe Biden, a victory for him is looking imminent as the West Coast looms. So, yes, 253 electoral votes for him and 191 for the president.
It is 11 p.m. on the East Coast, and we might be in for a major correction as polls close in the state of California, Oregon, Hawaii, Washington, and Idaho. And we currently do have a major projection, a historic one, that we can project. Joe Biden has been elected president of the United States. He has reached the 270 electoral votes necessary to win, and we've also reached history as Kamala Harris is elected the first female vice president of the United States. In addition to, she's the first African American to hold the office of vice president. So, out of the state of California, this is what puts Joe Biden over the edge. We can project 55 electoral votes will go to former Vice President Joe Biden. This is what puts him over the edge. In addition to that, in the state of Oregon, 7 electoral votes we can project will go to the former Vice President. Out of the state of Washington, 12 electoral votes, and adding on to Biden's victory in the state, in the West Coast. And out of the state of Hawaii, 4 electoral votes we can project at this time going to former Vice President Joe Biden. But we do have a call for the president in the state of Idaho with 4 electoral votes. It's not a very big call as all his paths to victory are officially closed. So at this point in time, it's something that's rather symbolic. However, President Trump is the winner in the state of Idaho. Going on into an election update in the state of Iowa, Donald Trump is still in the lead with 67% of reporting, 6 electoral votes at stake. Our current electoral map with only 2 states outstanding, Iowa because it's uncalled, and Alaska because polls haven't closed. 331 electoral votes for former Vice President Joe Biden to 195 for President Donald Trump.
The one state that has yet to close its polls is Alaska, and we have a projection out of the state. Donald Trump will win the state of Alaska. Again, this does not help him at all. It just gives him free 3 electoral votes. We now have a projection, and it is from the state of Iowa. The president will hold on to their 6 electoral votes, narrowly beating out Joe Biden. Biden hoped for a last-minute rally out of the more urban parts, but we've counted all the votes that we can for tonight. There are a few mail-in ballots that are left, but even if they all go to Biden, it will not be enough to overcome Trump's lead. So our electoral map is finished. 334, again, it says 331 on your screen. We apologize for the minor error. 334 for Joe Biden, 204 for the president. Joe Biden has been elected the 46th president of the United States. Donald Trump, by the way, Joe Biden is expected to give his victory speech very soon. Donald Trump has not yet spoken to his supporters.
So guys, we want to thank all of you for watching, and if you enjoy this content, please consider liking, subscribing, and turning on post notifications, and please check out both of our channels, Purple Political Talk and Unbiased Election Predictions. So whichever one you're watching us on, just go on to the other person's channel, and make sure you guys are subscribed because we both bring great political content. I wanted to make an announcement on Purple Political Talk. On election night, November 3rd, we're going to do an election night full coverage where we're going to talk about the results. We're going to do maybe do some panels. We're going to be talking a lot about election information. So we're going to have election night coverage, full coverage in America, November 3rd, 2020 here with Purple Political Talk.
All right, thank you so much, Purple. It's been a blast going through this election night.